Now today I'm doing a review with study notes of Managing Oneself by Peter F. Drucker. It's a Harvard Business Review classic. This book is from 1909, so it has stood the test of time for us, these principles. Peter F. Drucker was a writer. He wrote several books on managing and business, but also he was a teacher and a speaker and counselor. He even counseled different parts of our government as far as getting along in the office and setting up the best managing systems. So let's just get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my review, like a 1 out of 10 rating on this, and I would give it an 8 out of 10, maybe a 9 even. It's a very, very short book. Look how large these letters are, as you can see. So it's a quick book. You can read it in a day or two, but you're going to want to take a pen and circle things, underline things, and keep coming back to it. Make friends with this book because it's got some really, really profound yet simple principles to put into action over years of our life to get the most out of it. And some really successful people have credited their success to these principles. So we'll start off with my notes on it, okay? So I'm just gonna put these notes actually into my description box. But I'm gonna start reading some of them off and talking about them. If you wanna listen, feel free, but you can just read the description if you'd prefer. All right, let's get it. So great achievers manage themselves, develop themselves, place themselves where they can make the greatest contribution, and know how and when to change the work they do in order to stay mentally alert and engaged. So as you can see already, the words in this book are just so loaded. That's one that you can always keep coming back to get more out of it. A person can perform only from strength, not weaknesses. The only way to discover your unbiased, true strengths and thus where you belong is through practicing the most important idea in this book, which is called feedback analysis. Simply put, this is feedback analysis. Whenever you make a key decision or take a key action, write down what you expect to happen. 9 or 12 months later, compare the actual results with your expectation. Practice consistently. Within maybe 2 or 3 years, feedback analysis will show you where your strengths lie. In fact, there are about 6 implications of feedback analysis. The first is it helps you be able to see where to put yourself, where your strengths can produce results. The second is seeing where you need to improve skills or acquire new skills or new knowledge, which will help you work on improving your strengths. 3, discovering where your intellectual arrogance is causing disabling ignorance and allow you to overcome it. Many people are contemptuous of knowledge in other areas than their own expertise, or believe that being bright is a substitute for knowledge. 4, shows your habits that you do or fail to do that inhibit your effectiveness and performance so you can remedy them. 5, reveals when the problem is lack of manners. When brilliant work fails again and again, as soon as cooperation from others is required, it probably indicates a lack of courtesy. Simple things like saying please and thank you and knowing a person's name or asking after her family enable people to work together whether they like each other or not. 6, comparing expectations with results also indicates what not to do. Energy should go towards making a competent person into a star performer. Waste as little effort as possible on improving areas of low competence because it takes far more energy to do that, and that is where most people get trapped and stuck. and slow down and become mediocre. Next, the way in which one performs best is determined by their personality type. Drucker offers questions to ask ourselves to help us illuminate which performance styles we'll find most effective. For example, for a personal example, I'm more of a reader than a listener. I learn best by talking. I prefer to work alone or as the leader. I perform best as a decision maker. I can work under stress, but I strongly prefer to design my own highly structured and predictable environment. Don't try to change yourself. Work hard to improve the way you perform. Try not to take on work you cannot perform or will perform poorly. See, these concepts are simple, so simple that they almost seem just silly, but they're not silly. They are easy to overlook. Values are the ultimate test. Drucker suggests planning to quit your job if your values don't align, even if you don't have a backup plan yet. To work in an organization whose value system is unacceptable or incompatible with one's own condemns a person to frustration and non-performance. Ethics require that you ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to see in the mirror in the morning? To decide where you clearly do not belong, you must answer 3 questions. What are my strengths? How do I perform? What are my values? Equally important, knowing the answer to these 3 questions enables a person to say to an opportunity, yes, I will do that, but this is the way I should be doing it. This is the way it should be structured. This is the way the relationship should be. These are the kind of results to expect from me and in this time frame because this is who I am. Successful careers develop when people are prepared for opportunities because they know their strengths from years of feedback analysis, their method of work, and their values. I'll read that one more time. Successful careers develop from people who are prepared for opportunities because they know their strengths, their method of work, and their values. Do you know all of those for you? Knowing where one belongs can transform an ordinary person, hardworking and competent, but otherwise mediocre, into an outstanding performer. To clarify your course of action, what to do, where and how to start, and what goals and deadlines to set, ask, where and how can I achieve results that will make a difference within the next year and a half? Let the answer balance 3 things. First, the results should be hard to achieve but within reach. Second, the results should be meaningful. And finally, results should be visible and quantifiable. Drucker encourages us to take responsibility for our relationships in organizations, that it's our duty to understand the strengths, ways of working, values, and proposed contribution of those we work with and depend on, regardless of whether or not we like each other. But it will help us allow ourselves to work together if we know that about each other. So we must express ours to them, vice versa as well. That means asking your coworkers, your boss, whoever that you depend on at work, what their strengths, ways of working, values, and proposed contribution is. And telling them what yours is as soon as you know yourself. That has been a summary of my favorite points from this book, and there's even more in it. This book is loaded with gems, and it only costs about $10. So if you're someone that is interested in taking your life to the next level as far as knowing your path, knowing your mission, being fired up and flying like an arrow, and being able to reduce friction with the people that are in your environment and working with you, then this is the book for you. If you want to change yourself from a mediocre performer to a star performer, go buy this book on Amazon or wherever you can find it. But on Amazon, it's $10, and the link is in the description. Plasma love, always flowing. I'll see you soon.